Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Musician from Hits Academy, a newsletter, coaching service, podcast, and blog preparing today's musicians for tomorrow's realities. Today's episode is titled, Deciding What Not to Do. Thank you to Parker Mouthpieces for providing the hosting for TEM. Parker Mouthpieces offers fine, customizable component mouthpieces for horn, trombone, euphonium, and tuba, including the Andrew Hitz Artist Model Tuba Mouthpiece. You can find out more at parkermouthpieces.com or follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All right. Last week's Quartet of Ideas, which is a part of the newsletter from TEM, was number 35, and the most clicked on link out of the four was to an article called A Toast to Tiny Steps. This article does a great job of breaking down large tasks into the countless small steps required to accomplish them. And this is not new, right? That this is not news that big things require a lot of actions. But the way that this thing visualizes like how much goes into important and large tasks, I found it really inspirational and I found it really motivating. So if you wanted to check that out and the other links, then you can go to tem.fm/newsletter. You can see all of the previous issues of the Quartet of Ideas, and you can also subscribe. And hello to the new subscribers from the past week. Thank you for joining us. All right, deciding what not to do. A scarcity mindset holds us back in all kinds of ways. More success for your band doesn't mean less for mine. Your private studio increasing in size doesn't mean that mine shrinks. Me getting a grant to do something cool doesn't mean you will receive fewer grants. We are not all vying for a slice of the same pie, or at least we aren't literally 99% of the time. We each can make our own pie. That's what this podcast, this is like the 308th episode to that end. It's all about making your own pie rather than worrying about people stealing your pie because of this fake sense of scarcity. Once you realize that you can just make your own pie, you can root for others and stop worrying about what they are getting at your expense, because that is just a lie that we tell ourselves. But there is one thing where the scarcity mindset is 100% accurate, and it's ironically one that we don't apply it to, and that is time. Each one of us gets exactly 24 hours a day. Anytime I am choosing to spend an hour for a task, I am quite literally taking 1/24th of that day's pie. It's gone. I will never get the time that I'm recording this episode. I'll never get it back. It's gone. Anytime I say yes to anything, whether that's something important like hosting this podcast, no, that's not what the script says. Anytime I say yes to anything, whether it's something important like playing catch with my son or something mundane like answering emails, I am by definition not doing anything else with that time. This is why this Steve Jobs quote is so vital. Deciding what not to do is just as important as deciding what to do. Having clarity about what important work most needs to be moved forward comes with a side benefit as well. You then know what not to do. When I lack clarity, I tend to buckle down and just start getting things done. This almost is always a mistake because it tends to lead to me doing the low-hanging fruit type tasks, and those never include getting out of my comfort zone and doing the things that stretch me. Remember, if your business doesn't have a hard part, you don't have a business. And the low-hanging fruit tasks I do when I'm just trying to get stuff done without clarity about what to do and not do is never the hard part. I can easily put that hard stuff on the back burner when I need to, because I feel like I'm getting stuff done. So I actually trick myself into thinking that I'm being really productive and trick myself out of realizing that I'm putting the hard stuff on the back burner. It's a trap that this is like twisted. It's a trap that actually feels good while I'm getting stuck in it because I'm being quote unquote productive. So whatever your process is, get clarity about your path forward, because that will also tell you what doesn't need to happen to move you down that path, and that is just as important. This week's quote is from Brian Tracy. Quote, "The greater clarity you have about your mission, the reason why you are on this earth, the easier it will be for you to hit your bullseye in life and to measure your success." Get some clarity, see the path ahead, don't take any detours, and then measure your success. That right there is the entire path to succeeding at anything. And I haven't talked a lot about measuring success. I have a lot more thoughts on that, and I'm going to be talking about that in future blog posts and also in future episodes. So you can look forward to that, or if that doesn't sound good, you can also avoid that. So you've been warned. Thank you very much for listening to TEM, for subscribing to the YouTube channel, for becoming a Patreon patron, for supporting TEM in a various number of ways. You are very much appreciated. And that is going to do it for another episode of The Entrepreneurial Musician.